This is a familiar sight in Rochester. The interactions of the deaf and hard of hearing communities are commonplace and a part of the city's culture.
I think that the deaf and hearing communities are more sharing the responsibility of communication here in Rochester than in other cities. The communication burden is not only on me, and here you don't have to educate the hearing community as much because they're already aware of it.
Alicia Lane Outlaw is the CCO of All Out Marketing, a company that opened offices here about 2 years ago that employs local deaf graduates.
What's different about Rochester, I'm seeing, is that more people here have exposure to the deaf community. And the talent is right there in their own backyard, graduating from NTID, because the deaf community here is so large. Deaf people do want to live here. They want to stay here.
But Lane Outlaw says companies in the city are not taking advantage of local talent. And as a result, many highly trained deaf grads are moving away to find work. President of the National Technical Institute for the Deaf, Jerry Buckley, says it can be harder for deaf and hard of hearing graduates to find jobs here. But it hasn't always been that way.
We had a whole generation of deaf and hard of hearing professionals who've graduated with skills. Many of them previously went out to work for the same large companies that traditionally have hired young people. And in the last 8 to 10 years, as the economy has been challenged, those companies have shrunk in size.
Buckley says NTID is now focusing on educating the smaller companies in Rochester about the quality of their graduates and how easy it can be to employ someone who's deaf or hard of hearing.
Our responsibility is to show them that we have skilled workers who can come into the workplace, compete, produce products, and that the additional cost is not going to be something that's going to impair their business model.
He says the long history of deaf education and community in Rochester means many of their grads want to stay. Sometimes, though, they have to make a tough decision, like all young graduates.
Rochester is the #1 city in the world for deaf people to live. Everyone wants to stay here. And as the economy has struggled, job opportunities have changed. And I understand some of the disappointment of needing to leave and go someplace else. But often young people have to do that to start their career and get the experience.
The population of post-secondary students in Rochester that are deaf or hard of hearing far exceeds national levels. But out of the 40 companies represented at NTID's latest job fair, only 4 or 5 were local. Not everyone is discouraged, though.
There are plenty of opportunities. I know if I do find a job, if it's a big enough company, they should be able to conform with the Americans with Disabilities Act, so I shouldn't have any issues.
Stephanie Miller is a science student at RIT NTID. She wants to stay in Rochester and she's confident she'll be able to find work when the time comes. Fellow student Monica Wilmot already has a job lined up, but she says she was nervous when she first started looking.
At first, I was worried that I might have a hard time finding a job here myself. Luckily, somebody suggested that I participate in something called the Workforce Recruitment Program. It's called WRP.
WRP is an assistance program for people with disabilities, and Monica says it provided the helping hand she needed to find a local job. Jerry Buckley says NTID graduates have a lot to offer and could contribute to the region's economic recovery if given the chance. He's hopeful that a change is not far away.
I'm very, very hopeful as the economy comes back, especially here in Western New York and in the Rochester region, that deaf people will have an equal opportunity to participate in that economic recovery through employment in professional fields.
For Need to Know Rochester, I'm Kate O'Connell.